Whether or not you agree with Trump's policies or whether you like Trump in general, this event is actually a really is more like a win-win or a lose-lose type of situation. Now, I don't know if you're aware, but Trump has faced a lot of controversy in regards to his Twitter blocking because technically Twitter is a private platform to some degree. You do have a right to privacy, but a lot of people are criticizing it because Trump was using Twitter, a private platform, to when being a public official. Now, obviously, when you are a public official, whether you are a city council member or a state governor or even president of the United States, you are a public official that is basically is open to criticism. For example, if you go on Twitter and then you go on Trump's tweet and say Trump is a racist bigot, Trump cannot block you because you're exercising freedom of speech. You have a right to criticize public officials, especially the president. However, the reason why this is considered a win-win or a lose-lose, however you want to see it, is because if Trump is not allowed to block individuals he doesn't like on his Twitter, even though it is a private account, he's using it for public means. So if Trump is not allowed to block individuals while he's serving as president and being a public figure, that means other politicians cannot block individuals as well. This another example is this in the case of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Let's see, Twitter. Example right here. This is from June 3rd. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez faced scrutiny when she blocked the Daily Caller from her Twitter account. She basically got on her Twitter account and blocked the Daily Caller, and this is the exact same thing. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a public official, so whether or not you see it as a win-win or a lose-lose, if Trump cannot block individuals through his Twitter account because he is a public official, that means Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, by law, as of now, can no longer block other individuals on her Twitter account. Sure, it's a private account, but she uses it as a platform in order to get her message across. She's a public official, meaning that if she blocks me for criticizing her new Green New Deal, guess what? She's breaking the law by blocking me and blocking my account because she is a politician. She is a public figure, and I have a right to criticize her and call out her nonsense. But if she blocks me on Twitter, basically she's breaking the law as of the court rulings from Trump's own Twitter blocking. Now, the article's from CNN, but before we go into the article, go to carlosredvids.com if you'd like to support my work directly. YouTube has literally doesn't want to monetize my content because they're too controversial. Well, this video is not even going to get monetized anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But what does matter is that if you like to support my work directly, go ahead and donate if you'd like. But the best thing you can do is share the video, like the video. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. But they're not even going to recommend my content regardless. But sharing the video does help. But let's go back with the article. It's from CNN. It reads, Twitter blocking by Trump is unconstitutional. Appeals court rules. It's from 2 hours ago. An appeals court said Tuesday that President Donald Trump violated the First Amendment by blocking users on Twitter. Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals upheld a New York judge's ruling and found that Trump engaged in unconstitutional viewpoint discrimination by utilizing Twitter's blocking function to limit certain users' access to a social media account which otherwise open the public at large because he disagrees with their speech. We hold that he engaged in such discrimination, the ruling adds. The judges on the appeals court concluded that the First Amendment does not permit a public official who utilizes a social media account for all manner of official purposes to exclude persons from an otherwise open online dialogue because they express views which the official disagrees. This, like I said, the reason why I believe this is a win-win or a lose-lose, I consider it a win-win because even when Trump loses, he's still winning. It means that if Trump cannot block people because he disagrees with them, he's using a private account for public means. He's using a private account to do his job. Every time you go on Trump's Twitter, he says, today's agenda, go have dinner with Vice President, go to China, or go to Japan, or go to North Korea, meet Kim Jong-un. He's using his own private account for government business. So when you're using your own private account for government business and you're a public official, you cannot block individuals because you are not immune to criticism. But in the case of Ocasio-Cortez, this also applies to her because the president is a much more powerful position compared to that of a representative in the U.S. House. So if Trump cannot block individuals because he disagrees with them, guess what? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez cannot do that as well. She can't block people like the Daily Caller. She can't block groups like the Daily Caller who criticize her because of her nonsense with the Green New Deal and that the world's going to end in 12 years and that the world's going to end by cow farts. And yes, that is part of the Green New Deal, by the way. She claims that it wasn't there, but I digress. Now that a court has ruled that Trump can no longer block individuals because he is a public official, that means people like Dan Crenshaw, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Nancy Pelosi, Ted Cruz, any government official cannot block Twitter users because they're public officials. They're using your private account for public official means, meaning for government purposes. So if Trump can't block them, guess what, AOC? You can't do that either. You're breaking the law at this point. So if you block someone like me because I actually call you out on your nonsense with the Green New Deal, you are breaking the law. But let's see if AOC even understands the law, because she clearly doesn't understand how the government works. But anyways, onward. The challenge to Trump's unprecedented use of Twitter in office came from 7 individuals he blocked, as well as the Knight First Amendment Institute, which argued that the president's personal account is an extension of his office, which is true. I agree with that 100%. It is an extension of his office. He uses Twitter as a means to communicate with his constituents. The Justice Department argued in March that the president wasn't wielding the power of the federal government when he blocked certain individuals from his personal Twitter account at Real Donald Trump, because while the president sends tweets in his official capacity, he blocks users as a personal matter. In that case, I disagree. If Trump wasn't president, he has a right to block people. I have a right to block individuals. Trust me, I do have that right because I'm not serving the government. When you are serving the government, you are open to criticism and you cannot censor them. That's called censorship. So when Trump decides to block individuals and say I do not want to hear them because I disagree with them, that's called censorship. When AOC blocks the Daily Caller because the Daily Caller criticizes her policy stances and she blocks them, that's called censorship. Censorship is not exclusive to one party in terms of government in general. If a government official doesn't like what you're saying and he blocks you on Twitter or blocks your opinion on Twitter, guess what? That's called censorship. Regardless of whether or not you agree with Trump or disagree with him, or whether or not you like Ocasio-Cortez or disagree with her, doesn't matter. If you're a government official and you're blocking individuals on Facebook or Twitter, you're basically censoring their speech. But the appeals court disagreed with that view. Like I said, like in the previous statement, they said that Trump was blocking users for his own personal matter. No, he's a government official. He cannot block them. The irony of all of this is that we write at the time in history of this nation when the conduct of our government and its officials is subject to wide open, robust debate. They wrote, this debate encompasses an extraordinarily broad range of ideas and viewpoints and generates a level of passion and intensity, the likes of which we have rarely been seen. This debate, as uncomfortable and as unpleasant as it frequently may be, is nonetheless a good thing. In resolving this appeal, we remind the litigants and the public that if the First Amendment means anything, it means that the best response to disfavored speech on matters of public concern is more speech, not less. Well, I do agree with this point. It's kind of ironic how the left is complaining about free speech this, free speech that. They're applying the Constitution when it benefits them, but when it doesn't benefit them, guess what happens? You have people like Antifa who basically want to beat up people that they don't agree with, but when it comes to their benefit, First Amendment is a good thing, but when it's a bad thing, they want to censor it, kind of like Antifa, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Well, that's what I want to see. I want to see if Trump cannot block individuals on his Twitter. I want to see if this same ruling is going to apply to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because she does block individuals as well. So I want to see if Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is going to be held and is going to have any legal problems when it comes to her actions as well, because she blocks people she disagrees with as well. She does. She's blocked the Daily Caller, and now with this ruling, that means that she even Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez cannot block other individuals because she is a public figure. She's using a private account, sure, but she's a public figure. She does not have the right to censor anyone who disagrees with her. But let's keep going. Today's ruling affirms that the position taken last year by a New York federal judge who ruled that Trump had violated the Constitution when he blocked Twitter users. U.S. District Judge Naomi Rice, I don't know, Buchwald or Buchwald, I don't know how to pronounce it, wrote in a ruling that no government official, including the president, is above the law, and all government officials are presumed to follow the law as has been declared. So you hear that? No government official, including the president, meaning that if you're a U.S. representative, a U.S. senator, a president, a Supreme Court justice, you are a government official. Meaning that if you do not like the opinion someone's saying on your Twitter account, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, guess what? You do not have the right to block them. So Trump, fine, he lost this one. He lost this one. But even then, he still won to some degree. He still won. He lost in this battle, but he also won as well. I know it sounds a little bit contradictory, but now Trump cannot block individuals on Twitter. But at the same time, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez cannot do the exact same thing. So now she will have to unblock the Daily Caller because the Daily Caller is a huge criticism. It's a huge critic of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her nonsense policies regarding climate change and world ending in 12 years. It's ridiculous. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Trump is no longer allowed to block individuals because he's a government official. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you, by definition, by the ruling of Judge Naomi Buchwald or Buchwald or whatever, no government official can block individuals on social media platforms. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, if you don't want to break the law, I recommend you start unblocking people who disagree with you because you're gonna lose. Trump, same way. Like I said, doesn't matter if you like Trump or you hate him. It doesn't matter. I do believe in the idea that if you're a government official, you're open to criticism and you are not immune to having you're not immune and you don't have the right to block people you disagree with. That's called censorship. When a government official or a government in general decides to basically to stop your opinion from getting out into the public, guess what? You're practicing censorship. So Trump, he lost this one. But other politicians are going to soon follow because, again, even the president is not above the law. I don't care if he's a Democrat or Republican. I don't care. But no president is above the law. I don't care if you like Trump. I don't care if you dislike him. I don't care if you like any future president from this point onward after the 2020 elections. It doesn't matter. The president is not above the law. So I agree with this ruling. Trump is a public figure. Sure, it's a private account, but he's using it as an extension to communicate with his constituent. He's using it for government purposes. So he doesn't have a right to block other individuals. He doesn't have the power to block dissenting agreements. Same thing with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, with Ilhan Omar, Ted Cruz, Dan Crenshaw. It doesn't matter. If you're a government official, you cannot use your own private account on Twitter or Facebook. You cannot use your accounts to block individuals because you do not agree with what they say. I'm talking about both Republicans and Democrats here. I don't care. Like I said, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. The law applies to every single public official here. But what I want to see is, will this law be implemented? Because again, Trump, obviously the law is going to be implemented towards him. He's the president right now. He gets a lot of press. But what I want to know is, will the law be applied to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because she engages in this type of behavior as well? But let me know what you guys think. Do you agree that the president doesn't have the right to block individuals on social media platforms on his own personal account, even because, it is his own private account? Do you agree with the ruling? Do you believe that this ruling is going to be applied to every government official, including Democrats, or do you think there's going to be a bias when it comes to the way this ruling is enforced? Let me know what you guys think. Share the video, like the video if you really enjoyed the content. It really does help out a lot. If you haven't subscribed, please do hit the notification button as well. That way you never miss an upload. I try to upload every single day. News articles, I try to make them as recent as possible. But unfortunately, sometimes I also have work to do, so I'm unable to upload articles as much to my liking. But unfortunately, all of us have to work. At least I do. But sure, that's the best you can do. That's going to be the last article for today. So comment in the comment section. I want to see a dialogue. Do you agree with this ruling that the government officials cannot block individuals on Twitter or social media platforms, or do you think that this is just something that is used to target Trump, or do you believe that even though Trump is losing in this case, he's still winning in the end because Democrats, just as much as Republicans, are guilty of blocking individuals on their own private accounts because they just don't like what they have to say. All right, have a good rest of the day, you guys. Stay awesome.